Hello, my name is Alyssa Ogata, and I will be presenting on a letter from author Olivia Judson's book, Dr. Tatiana's Sex Advice to All Creations. And the letter I chose is from the paragraph, A Sketch of the Battlefield. So, first, for some context, the first letter of A Sketch of the Battlefield is written by a stick insect named Twiggy, who is complaining that she and her mate have been copulating for 10 weeks and there's no sign of it ending. Twiggy complains of being bored and that her partner is crazy, and author Olivia Judson later explained that males do this so no other male will come near the female and have the chance to mate with her. This could ensure that the females end up giving birth to his offspring. And we'll come back to why this matters in a bit, but first, to give an introduction and a little more information on stick insects, they are also known as walking sticks, and as you may have guessed it, they get their names because they resemble a stick. So they easily camouflage with foliage and twigs, and they even sway back and forth so that they look like a twig in the wind. They live about 2 years long, and they are herbivores, so they typically eat leaves. And stick insects are also some of the largest bugs. Some species can grow up to 20 inches long, but overall they range from 1 to 20 inches, and the females are larger than the males. The classification for insects or stick insect is in the supergroup Uniconta within the clade Opisthoconta. The kingdom is Animalia within the clade Metazoa. The subkingdom is Eumetazoa. The clade is Bilateria, and within that is the clade Ecdysozoa. The phylum is Arthropoda, and the subphylum is Pancrustacea, with the common name being stick insect. Stick insects are found in woodlands and tropical forests, so they can be found on every continent except Antarctica, of course. Some fun facts about stick insects are that some species of female stick bugs are also able to reproduce by laying an unfertilized egg that a new female emerges from. Also, when stick bugs feel that they are in danger, they have a few different mechanisms to distract or get away from their predator. And if a predator grabs onto their leg, they can actually drop that leg and then escape and grow it back later. Another one of the mechanisms is that they play dead and they can just drop from wherever they are. And you can see in the picture, it looks like a stick insect is playing dead. And actually, when I was researching and reading about stick insects, I found that a lot of people have them as pets. And I also saw a lot of people on the internet posting pictures of their stick insect and asking people if their stick insect died or if it's just playing dead. So that seems to be a common issue that these pet owners have. So these are some of the stick insects' mating behaviors. During copulation, the pair could be joined together for several days, where the male rides on the back of the female. And once they're done copulating, the female will eventually drop her fertilized eggs, which will hatch in about 3 months to 1 year. And if you can recall Twiggy's letter, she reports she has been copulating with her mate for 10 weeks and even admits to writing the letter while copulating. And her mate said it's because he's madly in love with Twiggy. So the question is, why do we care? And it's because Twiggy's mate has shown to be quite committed to only her. He's not running off and trying to find other mates. And this is significant because geneticist A.J. Bateman wrote a scientific journal that proposed all males were more promiscuous and have evolved to simply mate, and all females are more choosy. Bateman studied Drosophila melanogaster fruit flies and noticed that the males tried to mate with as many females as possible, while females were seen rejecting male advances. Bateman also observed that since the males had more partners than females, they came to have more offspring than the females. Author Olivia Judson explains that A.J. Bateman's principle is simply incorrect. Females have proven to be more strumpet than what was originally believed because they have one goal, and that is to get their eggs fertilized and reproduced. Bateman's studies and principle was flawed because the species of fruit fly that he studied is particularly restrained, and when it comes to mating, they're not hopping from mate to mate. The Drosophila melanogaster females typically only mated once a week, compared to other fruit flies like the Drosophila hydae, which tend to have several mates just in the morning alone. And when reading Twiggy's letter, we can clearly see that Bateman's principle is incorrect. Twiggy's mate is not going off seducing other females. He has been stuck to Twiggy for 10 weeks now. So, going on to a scientific journal, animal behavior researchers Samantha Levers and Leigh Simmons wrote a scientific journal discussing mate guarding as a defense strategy in animals. They describe mate guarding as the physical guarding of a female in order to deny rival males the opportunity to mate with her. This behavior is seen in mammals, birds, insects, and fish, where males will either stay nearby the female, prolong the copulation, hence Twiggy's situation, or mounting after copulation. Some examples of male animals that practice mate guarding include the male Idaho ground squirrel, who follows his female mate everywhere, and when she goes into the burrow, he even blocks her in there and prevents other males from getting in the burrow. And he may also be seen fighting other nearby males. Another male animal that does this is the blue milkweed beetles. They stay close to the female mates by riding on their backs after copulation. Also, on the contrary to Bateman's principle, there are promiscuous females who seek to mate with as many males as possible. An example that I previously mentioned is the Drosophila hydae, which is a species of fruit fly that mates several times a day, could be in the morning alone. Another example are female rabbits who mate with several different males while in heat. This increases her chances of conception. And similar to the female rabbits are the Gunnison's prairie dogs, who they're very similar, so they mate with several different males during their heat. Next is the female sand lizards, who mate with many partners so they can hatch more eggs. And lastly, the female slippery dick. They're a pale fish that live in coral reefs, and they actually mate with a gang of males to fertilize her eggs. In conclusion, female animals have proven to be more promiscuous while males have proven to be more attached to a single female, despite what was originally believed by A.J. Bateman. Thank you for watching my presentation, and I hope you learned something new.